Being one of the very few people out in deep space must be terrifying. I mean, think about it. In the cold, indifferent silence of deep space, no one would hear you scream, even if you end up falling victim to the most ghoulish biological weapon to ever exist. We all know what kind of chaos a Xenomorph can cause. But what about the Facehuggers? The second stage of the alien life cycle may seem like just a creepy crawly in comparison to a Xenomorph, but trust me when I say this, the horrifying reality of being hugged by a Facehugger is not a fate I would wish even on my worst enemy. Don't believe me? Well, we'll see about that. Before we get into our explanation, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us it means a lot. Thank you. Let's begin. Stage 1. The first contact. One of the most interesting aspects of the Facehugger attack is that they do not pursue you. Well, not in the beginning at least. They mostly wait and use the general curiosity of us humans and other life forms to lure them close enough not to escape their attack. You see, usually the Facehugger resides in those leathery, half-living, half-dead fleshy eggs that the alien queen lays. Inside these eggs, the Facehuggers are almost lifeless. The egg effectively protects them from whatever is happening outside, the harsh climate and calamities, waiting for the right moment to strike. And that moment begins when the unsuspecting victim strolls into the space, whether it is a derelict spaceship, an abandoned colony, or a research lab. When you are one of the people tasked to research things in space, curiosity will drive you to do things that generally one would not suggest. However, as the saying goes, curiosity killed the cat, but satisfaction brought it back. The smartest people chosen by Weyland-Yutani to find something remarkable in the darkness of space end up venturing into the darkness, with their breath held in anticipation as they illuminate the path with their measly flashlights they carry. Then, out of nowhere, they would come across those fleshy pods that would instinctively strike them as odd. The pods look like an egg, but don't have the usual structure we associate with an egg, so of course they get closer. The closer they get, the more they notice the egg moving. While the scientists might think that the egg was moving the entire time, the truth is that these alien eggs, or ovomorphs as they're termed, actually are creatures in their own regard. They have a full-on central nervous system that is specifically in place to detect whenever there's a suitable host nearby. So the reality is, the eggs are moving because the scientists, explorers, and mercenaries are around those eggs in the dark and humid place where they have been waiting for God knows how long. These movements arise from the egg adjusting the Facehugger's position just right so that when the egg opens, the Facehugger gets a clean shot at the host that's loitering near them. And then, using the last remaining energy in it, the egg starts to open. Yes, people, it doesn't hatch. It opens like a fleshy flower with 4 petals. The ovomorph sacrifices itself so that the Facehugger can do its job. Now, imagine you're the scientist watching this unfold. You've never seen anything like this before. An egg moving on its own, and then spreading open like a flower. Surely you will be curious about it, right? And that's when you would end up noticing something slithering inside the egg. Your curiosity peaks, and you get a little closer, to get a better look, to better understand what wondrous thing you're witnessing. But the brutal reality is that the thing you're witnessing is malicious, dangerous, and would be the death of you. And before you realize what's happening, the little slithering mass inside the egg, it'll jump out, unfurling into the slithery, slimy, and absolutely horrifying creature with finger-like legs and a large spine-like tail. It brings itself in the air and wraps itself around the throat of the victim, latching onto their face. The motion is swift, suffocating, and horribly painful. The finger-like limbs would clamp down around the skull of the victim, digging into the flesh, creating a seal that no one can break. The tail wrapped around the throat starts tightening, almost securing the hold they have on the host, restricting their airflow and making fighting back extremely difficult. And you might think that it's not too late, but let me tell you, it already is. Step 2. Sedation and parasitic bonding. Now, with all the descriptions I've used for Step 1, you might think that it takes the Facehugger a while to do all of this, right? Well, no. All of that happens within a fraction of a second. Almost immediately after it attaches itself to a host's face, the Facehugger starts releasing a sedative, paralytic agent. It passes on the paralytic agent transdermally, making the victim unconscious in a matter of seconds. While it hasn't been confirmed, it is speculated that since the ovomorph is an organism as a whole, it's highly likely that the ovomorph sensors and Facehugger work together to determine just how much toxin they need to inject into the victim based on the size of the victim. If too little is given, the victim would remain conscious, and the horrifying reality would get a tad bit more horrifying. And if too much of the toxin is introduced into the system, the victim would go into shock immediately and pass away. Using both its tail and the chemical, the Facehugger manages to render the victim helpless, all in within, 3 to 5 seconds of the attack. Can you imagine just how deadly this creature is? And as if that isn't enough, it's rather evident from the size of the Facehugger that the best suited hosts for it are none other than the humans and predators. However, there has been one instance where a Facehugger infected a dog. However, it's harder for the Facehugger to infect anything smaller than it, and something that is not humanoid in structure. But when it comes to bigger hosts with humanoid structures, Facehuggers do not face any problem with it at all. They're known to infect engineers, and we've seen just how big they are. It's also been speculated that if a host is big enough, multiple Facehuggers might go after it so that one can properly attach itself to the host, while the others subdue the host. We've seen instances where adult Xenomorphs have held down victims to help Facehuggers latch onto them. Once the Facehugger latches on, the true nefarious activities can begin. Step 3. Organism takes control. Usually when the Facehugger launches an attack, you can see that right before it wraps its digits around the head of the victim, the fleshy proboscis makes its way out of the Facehugger's opening. This proboscis makes its way down the host's throat. If you're unconscious for this procedure, consider it your lucky day, because the Facehugger doesn't care if you're awake for this process or not. It's going to put that fleshy thing down your throat, and you just have to accept that assault. This fleshy proboscis has many uses. For one, it allows the host to breathe. In the case of Kane, he was attacked in an unbreathable environment. However, with the Facehugger on his face after breaching the space helmet, Kane did not succumb to a lack of air and kept on breathing. The Facehugger effectively kept him alive until Kane was aboard the Nostromo. Another use of this proboscis is implantation. The Facehugger implants the chestburster embryo into the host. Originally, it was believed that the Facehugger also used the fleshy proboscis to introduce toxins and immunosuppressants into the host system to keep it dormant. However, that was later proven to be wrong, as just some skin contact is more than enough to subdue the victim. Now, over the years, we've seen the Alien franchise quite literally expand in front of our eyes. While that happened, the biology of the aliens also became more and more intricate, and that has led to fans speculating that the Facehugger actually does not put an embryo inside the host at all. Instead, it puts an unknown substance inside the host's throat. It could be something that's far more genetically advanced than you and I could ever imagine, because the substance, whatever it may be, starts mutating the host cells. The mutations introduced in the host cells are what lead to the formation of the chestburster. This has been confirmed when we saw the Facehugger infect a predator, and the chestburster from the predator had predator-like features, as the other chestburster that came out of a human infected by similar Facehuggers didn't have any such features. With this kind of genetic manipulation, the Facehugger manages to start off the proper implantation procedure. While this takes place, the Facehugger still remains on top of the host, ensuring everything is going smoothly. Now, this could take anywhere from a few minutes to many hours. The Facehugger we saw in Planet 4 and in Antarctica worked a lot faster with the implantation in comparison to the Facehugger that bested Kane. Thanks to the immunosuppressants, the host body can do nothing but accommodate the horrifying addition to its system. The host body becomes an incubator for something it never consented to. From the outside, the host looks alive, but a little unresponsive. There's no sign of anything being wrong, no change in the vitals, no change in outer appearance. But deep within their chest, something far more horrifying is taking place. Because of the stable condition of the host, we usually see the friends of the host consider separating the Facehugger from their friend. However, attempting to do so would be the second most foolish decision of the day, with venturing into the humid, dark place being the first one. You see, just like any other part of the alien life cycle, the Facehugger too has acidic blood. If you try to cut it, hoping to separate it from the host that way, you'll get yourself and your host friend sprayed with acid. Its strong grip and all the sedatives it pumps into the system of the host make it extremely difficult to safely remove the Facehugger without endangering the host. In some cases, it has been seen that if the Facehugger senses that it's being removed, it would much rather inject a heavier chemical dose into the host, or use its proboscis as a weapon to cause heavy internal injuries in the host. You might be thinking that sure, the chemical overdose and the proboscis thing are understandable. So what if you took off the Facehugger before it shoved the proboscis down your throat, right? Well, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, because that too is quite impossible. If the Facehugger has latched onto you, you will be subdued. No matter who you are, there's no way you're getting the Facehugger off your face. Even predators and engineers have failed to pull off the Facehugger, and they're far stronger than you and I ever could be. The only time when you can dodge a Facehugger's attack is if you behave like Ripley. Ripley wasn't Hadley's hope when she was trapped with two Facehuggers. She managed to stop one from subduing her by putting her hand in front of her face, stopping the Facehugger from even latching on. It was hard, and she was extremely lucky because the Colonial Marines soon assisted her with the Facehugger situation. Ripley 8, on the other hand, did remove one of the Facehuggers from her face directly without needing anyone's help, but this Ripley had Xenomorph DNA in her, and they were underwater. It could be that either her Xenomorph DNA worked against the paralytic agent introduced into her system and saved her life, or that the sedative agents don't work underwater. Either way, the take-home message is that if you're around Facehuggers, the only way you're coming out of that whole situation alive is if you you can run out of there super fast and are always on your guard to push them away from your face. Even trying to shoot them wouldn't work out as well as you're thinking, because these skittish little buggers move extremely fast and spring out seemingly out of nowhere. Since most people do not have Lady Luck on their side, there's a 99.99% chance that you will become the incubator for a chestburster if you cross a Facehugger.
Humans were used to breed the ultimate prey.
Stage 4. A false hope. After ensuring the implantation is safe and secure, the Facehugger quite literally dies. It simply detaches itself from the host and either dies right by them, or hides away before dying somewhere else. The sole purpose of the Facehugger seems to be implanting the embryo or the cell matter into the appropriate host body. It's not known how long the Facehugger can survive without being attached to the host body after implantation, but from the looks of it, it doesn't seem to be long. So with the Facehugger now rotting away in the corner of the room, or on the floor, the host awakens. The sedatives wear off and the host seems perfectly fine. Usually they don't remember much about the Facehugger attack except recalling the feeling of being smothered. Some hosts show symptoms like nausea, chest pain, hunger, and sore throat, but most of the hosts don't show any symptoms at all. With the host now out and about doing their own thing, usually everyone feels hopeful. Even medical tests done on the host would show no sign of anything out of the ordinary. Even a chest x-ray would not show the foreign matter inside their body because the alien embryo is just too well hidden. With everything seeming to be fine and dandy, things would start returning to normal. The victim would be talking to his friends, having a drink, or maybe eating food, when suddenly they would start feeling a pressure building near their chest. Is it dread? Is it just discomfort? Who knows? But something feels awfully wrong. Stage 5. The Horrifying Symbiosis. The pressure in their chest increases, and the host starts realizing that their body is not functioning just right. Breathing is harder. There's a growing fever and an even bigger sense of dread. Their appetite slowly starts leaving them, and they become pale and clammy, and their immune system slowly starts to act up. Things feel wrong, but no one can quite put a finger on it. The embryo that was nestled deep inside the host starts growing rapidly by this point. It's stealing all the nutrients from the body, growing bone mass and creating skeletal structures, from the claws and teeth to the jaws within jaws that haunt us in our dreams. At this point, the victim would start getting coughing fits, and shortness of breath would grow, making it harder and harder for them to walk. The chest pain would start to feel a lot worse. From a slight pressure, it has now grown to a full-on stabbing pain, almost like a rib was cracked or a lung was punctured. But the truth is so much worse. The chest burster is ready. Stage 6. The birthing. The worst part about this stage is that you never see it coming. One moment the victim is having coughing fits but still managing to work through it. The next moment, they're doubled over in agony. They scream, cry, and sob in pain. Their ribcage starts to crack, almost expanding. The pain is indescribable, and something starts to claw its way out of their chest. And then, crack! You hear the bones break. Blood sprays everywhere. You see the organs of your closest colleague lying around you as something serpentine comes out of their chest cavity. The Xenomorph larva screeches and writhes its way free, and no one can do anything about it because the shock is simply too much. The victim dies almost instantly, with their last moments being filled with unimaginable horror, pain, and I assume, betrayal by their own body. The once loved human, the brightest mind of the team, a friend, a lover, dies as just a pawn, an incubator for something hostile that is now free, and ready to start hunting down their friends. And the company they did all this for, Weyland-Yutani, they couldn't care less. As long as their little science data collection is going on, they don't care about the number of innocent lives lost. Talk about the business opportunity over employee safety. Trapped and helpless. These are the two words that best describe the state of the victim after they get facehugged by a facehugger. Theories suggest that the victims actually stay in a semi-lucid dream when they're getting implanted, which implies that once they awaken, there's a huge psychological toll on their psyche. The victims who survive brief attachments by some luck usually show signs of PTSD and often struggle with night terrors. Many victims felt like there was something wrong with their bodies. Their bodies no longer belong to them. It's like that of the female genitalia, and the proboscis is definitely phallic in shape. In a way, a lot of fans feel that the facehugger shows the horrors of being taken advantage of that a lot of women have felt. The phallic imagery was done on purpose in a way. Facehugger redefines victimhood. It puts the victimhood in a way that is so horrifying that even the toughest of men shiver at the thought of it. Dan O'Bannon, the writer of Alien, intentionally wanted to create something that would bring to light sexual assault in a way that would truly terrify men in the audience. Facehuggers were designed specifically specifically for that message. It forcibly attaches itself to the face and inserts a phallic tube to implant an embryo, all without the victim's consent, removing all sorts of bodily autonomy the victim had. In the Alien franchise, in most cases, the males are the victims of the attack. Given that sexual violence is a theme behind these creatures' design, I think that's what makes Facehuggers even more eerie, as it forces the men in the audience to understand the helplessness and the bodily violation anyone might feel from a pregnancy they didn't consent to, even if it's simply metaphorical.
Dad?
Marvelous verdict. To be facehugged by a facehugger is to have your bodily autonomy taken away, your life taken away. The moment the facehugger attaches to you, your fate is sealed. The host's body is nothing but a cradle of horror, and the facehugger manages to fulfill the one purpose it had, to create something lethal. The cost of that one true purpose, however, is measured by the screams and pain of so many scientists, explorers, or normal people who just ended up in the wrong place when they shouldn't have. With that, we've come to the end of this video. Let us know what you guys think about the facehugger, and we'll see you in the next video. Until next time, bye! And if you liked our content, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to us if you haven't already. Have a good one and be safe. Thanks, everyone.